Welcome back to another episode of Why Real Estate, where we cover all things real estate and the importance of buying, selling, and investing. I'm Lane Thompson. I am the owner of Lane Thompson Real Estate, and I'm excited to be able to bring you this episode today. We've got a great guest on, good friend, man who's highly reliable and trustworthy, and Tristan Holman. We've known each other for a few years now, and he owns and operates Elite Outdoor Pros. Very busy guy, very high in demand, easy to recommend to people. He builds decks, he builds awnings, does fencing, anything for your yard, that has a great artistic touch, pergolas, whatever it might be. Tristan and his team know how to do it. They got hundreds of hours doing business. I mean, they do huge projects down to the smallest small deck projects, just know how to work and how to get it done. And it's a key component from a value add for any homeowner to get a deck done or an awning or something added to the backyard. And all of us have different budget ranges to work from. And I mean, I'm sure you even put in, I assume, kitchens and backyards with barbecues and, smokers and otherwise. But thanks for coming on, Tristan.
Appreciate it. Appreciate the opportunity.
Tell us a little bit about what you do and why you do it, why you love it, some of the reactions of homeowners that you see when you finish a project.
Yeah, a little bit about what I do is I just create an outdoor living space where it's an extension of your kitchen or your family room to be able to get the kids, the family outside and enjoying, nature and not being stuck inside of a house.
So I know for my family and I, we just moved not too long ago to a home that had a much better backyard. I say better, but it's also about the layout of the backyard and how things flow. And our previous home had a nice deck to it, but getting to the backyard wasn't as convenient as our home now. And it can really make a house a home, when you have a setup like that and a meeting place, in the backyard. And so, I would definitely say Elite Outdoor Pros knows how to bring families together.
Yeah, that's our main thing. We try to do that, especially when we go from something that, maybe you have just like a 4x4 landing coming off the house and you create this elaborate big deck to where you can have chairs and you have your grill, your smokers. Everybody's able to, come together in one space and, enjoy. And something that, people add to decks is putting roofs over it so that way they can enjoy that in the winters. Putting heaters outside. I've had clients put TVs, speakers, and they have full-on parties out there. And so to be able to do that for families and to grow the equity of homes and, offer selling points, but also just points for family to come to one place.
It's amazing how a great back deck, a great awning, whether it be a covered deck or just a patio, the difference it can make in bringing the family together, right? But also in value and the perception of a buyer. If you have done this to your home and you've spent the money to have a great backyard and there comes a time for whatever reason that you've got to sell your home, that's definitely be something that as a real estate agent I'm going to be pointing out as far as, a benefit, a feature, and a lot of times it can seal the deal.
Right. During COVID, right? Everybody was having houses go for asinine prices, and it was because of the extra spaces that they had, specifically decks in the backyards, because nobody could go out, but yet they had that a little bit of an oasis out in the backyard to where they could enjoy their family rather than going on vacation because nobody could do that.
That COVID season and what happened and what we went through a few years ago is a very good point, because I have a friend that owns a business that provides outdoor sports equipment, right?
Yeah.
And you would have thought that things slowed down, but what people realized as they were shut into their homes is they started focusing on all the things they wanted to do to improve that home,
right,
inside and out.
Right.
And like him, I imagine you were as busy as you've ever been during that time.
100%.
That as people were adding value and creating memories, a place to create memories for their homes. And then when those same people just needed to sell their home, they were able to receive and demand top dollar. And maybe their square footage, price-wise, they could get more out of their
Correct.
home, even though that exterior space doesn't count as part of the square footage, when you list it on the MLS. But it was the difference maker that brought them thousands and thousands of more dollars.
Correct.
What is the most common thing that you see as far as what people add on to the backyard?
Most common things, I would say a fence to enclose the yard so that way they can have their pets and their loved ones kind of contained, especially with little kids. And then decks, extending that kitchen outside. Typical is the men want to be outside grilling, the women want to be inside, maybe prepping everything. That's kind of the stigma, or vice versa. Is just people want to be outside. That's what we're drawn to. So they want those decks. That's the biggest thing. And then just covering it, whether you have a louvered pergola where it opens and closes, or whether you have a fixed roof. Those are probably the biggest things that we do and that are drawn to the backyards and that living space and everything like that.
Tristan Holman here. We're grateful he came in and joined us today and talked about the different things you can do. I hope you enjoyed the B-roll, on this as we're discussing things. You can see what his customers have received and the work that they've done. Before we wrap this up, is there anything else you want to add?
No, other than thank you, Lane, for the opportunity to come on and share a little bit about, the outdoor spaces as people are learning and growing on, home ownership, that they can live up to their dreams, and to be able to have that outdoor experience in their backyard and to, buy the house of their dreams.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody.